Chapter 9. Going back to college. We had a wild night. It was after one of Sean's famous parties. Everyone was there. And we not only had threesomes, but we also swapped partners. Our sex life was crazy. But I got to do things with Sean I never would have been able to do with a straight man. Sean cared about me, but it was becoming more and more obvious that he preferred men. I was beginning to think I was there more to cover his wild desires than because he really wanted to be with me. He was like Caesar, every woman's man and every man's woman. But truthfully, at that stage, I was becoming okay with it. I woke up and left the bedroom where I was with Jada Pinkett, and Sean happened to be coming out of the bedroom with Blank and Will Smith. Yes, Blank attended the parties from time to time. I could see him and Will kind of snuggled up on the bed together. I was grateful I wasn't asked to join in that room. I didn't really like Blank. Sean smiled when he saw me. Good morning. Here at the orgies, he wasn't very affectionate. He didn't have to pretend. But he couldn't walk straight. I knew how his ass felt, literally. We've had sessions playing with each other's anal cavities. I wanted to be home before Quincy woke up, so I told him, I'm getting ready to go. He responded, let's have a cup of coffee first. This meant he wanted to talk. I didn't know what it was about, but in situations like this, I didn't really have a choice. He was becoming more violent when he didn't get what he wanted, and I didn't really want to fight. So I sat down. But before we started talking, Blank came out of the room. Sean was wearing boxers. Blank was in his birthday suit. Blank addressed us, morning. When he turned around in order to close the door, there was dried cum stain on his back. Blank walked over, pulled a chair out to sit next to us, and lit up a blunt. Sean stretched, smiled, and said, this East Coast, West Coast beef is more lucrative than I thought, but it's getting dangerous. Blank responded, surprised. Business first thing in the morning? Damn, cuz, you on it. But you know you don't got nothing to worry about. You got a pass, daddy. Blank smiled coyly. Sean apparently had something to talk about with Blank as well, because he said, I can't protect everybody, especially if someone is no longer going to be on my label. It was apparent Blank was taken aback by this turn of events by his reply. Sean, are you saying what I think you're saying? Sean continued. It's taxing on my resources to protect people. Someone that isn't 100% on my team can't get 100% of my protection. What the hell is going on here? What does Sean want from me? This morning is turning out to be way more than I expected, and I have to go. Quincy will be looking for me. Meanwhile, Blank apparently wanted clarity. So to be clear, if something happened, Blank made quotation marks with his fingers to one of your artists that was leaving your label anyway, it would be considered he makes another set of quotation marks out of your control. Is that what you're saying? Wait a minute. Can they be talking about Biggie? Is Sean saying he won't protect Biggie? At this point, I was too young, too naive, too hungover to understand that this was not a lack of protection. This was a hit. Where did this come from this morning? But an older, wiser me understands now what I did not comprehend all those years ago. Sean was just getting to the real reason that he and Blank were there. The world was about to lose Biggie. Blank laughed. You a cold motherfucker. Sean said, why the fuck should I protect someone that isn't gonna stick around? I made him. That nigga should be worshiping the ground I fucking walk on. I was thinking, Sean's ego is rearing its ugly head, and I wanted to get out of there. The instincts told me I need to tread carefully, so my next move had to be calculated. I don't really want to be a part of this, not even implicitly, but I was just dragged right into the middle of it. If what was happening here ever comes out, will I be held as an accomplice? But even as those thoughts crossed my mind, I couldn't just pretend this was okay. So I said, but Sean, he hasn't left yet. They're just rumors. Are you going to let him die because of some rumors? Sean glared at me, the anger in his voice obviously stemming from hurt as he said, I know when I'm being portrayed. I'm not killing anyone, but I'm not protecting somebody that doesn't have my back 150%. Fuck that. This was railing out of control. My mind began to race. Is there a way to get through to him? Maybe I can use the finance route. Sean, he's bringing in so much money. You put so much money into cultivating him. Are you going to throw away all that money? That's when he revealed how thought out this meeting really was. If he leaves, he takes all the money I invested into creating him. Sean sighs. But if he can't protect himself and something terrible does happen, then the money I would make off his death would blow away all the money we made so far. I was perplexed. Sean, he continued, he's worth more dead than alive. Sean Combs is a calculated monster. Blank chimed in. I get that, fam. A lot of people out there want Biggie dead too. Without your protection, he doesn't stand a chance in Cali. Biggie is going to die. This is crazy. I dare not say anything else about it. Sean smiles and stands to walk over to a safe behind a picture. There he pulls out a bag marked with Blank's name. He turns to Blank and says, that's why you're worth your weight in gold. You understand me. Here's a little something for you to take care of my people. Blank smiles. Sean, I love you, baby. You know I got your back. Your problems are my problems. I'll make sure to have my people take care of your people. I need to get out of here. This is crazy. I attempted to leave again. Sean, I want to get to Quincy before he wakes up. Sean looked at me, responding, it's getting late. Give him a kiss for me. I'm going to get out of here. Thank God. Blank always was something to say. I love to meet the little tyke sometime. Not a chance in hell. Something about this guy creeps me out. I forced a smile. That would be great. I made my exit. Chapter 10. The Lies You Tell. At this point, the relationship between Sean and I had been off and on for quite a while, and we were off at this point. He had put his hands on me again, this time for something that didn't even happen. It was all in his head. When the phone rang, I picked it up anyway. Hi, Sean. He sounded trepidatious as he said, we've been broken up for a while this time. Yeah? He continued, I don't want anyone to know about my... He paused to search for the right word. Proclivities, I replied. So you don't want people to know about you being gay? Sean exploded. See, that's why I fucking lose control on you. So I just plainly stated, goodbye, Sean. Wait, he screamed. What, Sean? I'm sorry, okay? You're always fucking sorry. He took a deep breath. I have to do something to cover myself. I sighed, do whatever you fucking want, Sean. When you see this in the news, it's not real. This made me calm down a moment. What could he be talking about? He continued, I'm only doing it for the press. Doing what, Sean? After the long pause, he continued, she knows what this is. She is just pretending to cover me. Sean, what the hell are you talking about? Another pause. Publicly, I am going to be dating someone else, a video girl. I laughed. Why would you do that? I have to cover myself. I was getting mad. I was actually angrier at myself more than at him. Why was I getting jealous? I was sitting there actually comparing myself to video vixens in my mind. They are thick, but look at my body. Did he prefer them light-skinned, big-butt girls from videos? I calmed myself. No, I know he likes men any damn way. As I regained control, I asked, why the hell are you telling me? He sighed, I wanted you to find out from me first. Like I give a shit. He came at me with his favorite line. You know I love you. It was getting old. I can only think to myself, here we go. Love is a big, strong word. I'm tired of him throwing it around and using it when it fits his needs. He's using it while he's sitting here telling me about dating someone else. I replied, you don't hit people you love, Sean. Love doesn't hurt. He sucked his teeth as he responded, come on, are you serious? That's just for children. We aren't in fucking high school. Sometimes things happen. That doesn't mean I don't love you. I wouldn't hit you if I didn't. Wait. That sounded wrong. You said exactly what you meant. He took a breath. There was an awkward silence. The fact that I was still on the phone and waiting for him to speak meant he had the power. He was more cautious as he continued. He didn't want to lose that power. No one that I don't care about can bring that kind of emotion out of me. I wanted to say, is that how you talk to dudes after using butt plugs? But there is a line I did not dare cross. Instead, I said, you say that while you're dating some other bitch. That's just for the public. I was done. It could be heard in my voice as I said, whatever, Sean. Do what you need to do. Leave me alone. I'm never giving up on us, he cried. I responded to that emotional control attempt with the little resolve I can muster. I didn't even believe the words that came tumbling out of my mouth. Sean, there is no us anymore. Goodbye. Tell Quincy I miss him, he threw out. His emotional manipulation was really driving me crazy. This time I said with much more conviction, goodbye, Sean. I hung up. Manipulative bastard. Chapter 11. More problems. For a while, I was actually happy to see Sean gone. I was getting older and the sex parties were out of control. It was getting time for me to slow down. Quincy was getting older. I knew that if I kept going, the rumors circulating were going to eventually find a way to get back to him. What will he think of me? Chris is about to take his trip to California. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen out there, but I felt like Tiana Wallace was about to be an orphan. I knew I didn't want any ties to that. As I was sitting there contemplating all of this in my robe, sipping my wine on this Friday evening, my doorbell rings. I was not expecting company. I opened the door and found Sean. My heart skipped a beat. I was shocked but recovered quickly. I forced a smile and told him with a slightly slurred speech, hey, come on in. Shit, I am way more intoxicated than I thought. Sean entered looking around suspiciously, then turned to me and smiled saying, you haven't been returning my calls. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. I'm fine. He obviously was not here out of concern. He was checking to see who was here. Sean was controlling like that. Yes, even though we were not together and he was dating someone else, he started to make his way to the living room. I attempted to put a quick end to the visit, but it came out a little more directly than I intended. So since you can see I'm fine, you can let me go to bed now. Part of me wanted him to stay. As he entered the living room, I was forced to follow. Sean was very direct with his next inquiry. Is someone else waiting for you? No, but Sean, we're not together. You're dating someone else. I can fuck whoever I choose. With this, Sean became irate. He fiercely slammed me into the ground. Then he pulled out a .22 and set it on the end table. He turned to me calmly. I was scared. My voice quivered as I pled to him, Sean, please stop. Quincy is here. How did we get here? How did we get to the point that he is in my living room threatening me with a gun? He knelt on one knee and got right in my face to say, you're mine. You don't have a choice in that now. I can't live with you. He stood up, composing himself. I was terrified as I whimpered, Sean, that's not love. Sean picked up his gun and cocked it. He looked at me almost thoughtfully and asked, have you ever heard, if I can't have you, no one can? Sean, please don't. Please. Quincy will hear. Sean smiled and put the gun away saying, oh, this is just for dramatic effect. I would never shoot you. If I was going to kill you, no one will trace it to me. You know how many people I've had to take care of over the years? It would be quiet. Something in your food or drink. Something that will never get back to me. I wouldn't shoot you. Do you understand? I could only nod, tears flowing down my cheeks. He looked at me thoughtfully as he reached down to help me up. I could do nothing but agree. He's a terrifying monster. Now, he wanted to smooth it over, and I had to go along with it. What else could I do? Listen, baby, I don't never want to hurt you. You know I really love you, or I would have moved on. Thinking about living my life without you is just too hard. If someone ever tried to hurt you, I would kill him. My back hurt from where I hit it on the table when he shoved me. All I could do as he helped me up was nod that I understand through my streaming tears, which he wiped. He looked toward Quincy's room. Let me say goodnight. No, Sean, please. He Thinking quickly, he has to get up in the morning. Sean looked at me with an unreadable look. He was studying me. Okay, I'm gonna go. Nervously, I walked him to the door. This is over, thank God. He kissed me. I didn't want him touching me, but I couldn't refuse. Kiss Quincy for me. I tried to keep my composure as I replied, sure, Sean. He opened the door to leave. The bodyguard that was waiting outside escorted him to the car. This was far worse than I realized. Why would he need a bodyguard at my front door? How was he anticipating this to go? After I shut the door, I had another drink. For tonight, the nightmare was over. I sipped on my wine and cried. The next few days, he sent dozens of flowers. He brought Quincy expensive gifts. He didn't want me. He wanted me to keep his secret. I'm trapped. He has the authorities under his thumb. I can't go to them. This is like a gangster movie. How high does his power go? How far is his reach? The FBI? The CIA? Who is not corrupted or won't get silenced by the upper chain of command? Can anyone help me and my child? He found his way back to my bed. I had no choice. Chapter 12. A Mama's Love. The calamity that ensued behind the death of Biggie shook the East Coast. It rocked me as well. Sean could have stopped it. He was complicit in it. He was a contributor. He knew it was going to happen and didn't stop it. That was his friend. No, they were not clearly as close as Sean would have the public believe, but still. As far as Sean was concerned, we were great. To the public, we were just having an off and on relationship of a normal couple. And I probably just seemed like a money-hungry hoe. But the truth is, I just got used to not having a choice. Today, I recognized it for what it was, Stockholm Syndrome. I was at his beck and call and had become comfortable with it. Quincy had everything he could ever want, with the exception, of course, of a normal parental figure. That is why this chapter is so powerful for me. A mother's love is so real. One night, I was out with my boyfriend. Yes, we were on again. And we were joined for dinner by none other than Miss Wallace. Sean looked over as security allowed Miss Wallace to approach the table and sit. Miss Wallace spoke with a smile. Hello, Sean. Hi, Kim. I smiled the best I could. What a situation. For all intents and purposes, she is sitting there with her son's killer. I hope my voice didn't betray my feelings as I said, Hi, Miss Wallace. Sean smiled also and said, Hello, Miss Wallace. What can I do for you? When I got your call, it sounded urgent. He was able to appear as if he was smiling warmly. This was the creepiest situation of my entire life. She looked at Sean with pleading eyes. I know this isn't your problem, but things have gotten kind of hard. I was hoping you could send some of that money Chris made with you this way. Sean shook his head. It's not something I can just do. There are attorneys and accountants. Can I maybe help you out with a little something to get you past the hump? Sean reached into his pocket to dig for his wallet. I haven't even seen how much Chris left. It's going on 2 years. Just how long is this going to take? Sean sighed as he replied, These things are difficult, Miss Wallace. I don't know. The attorneys don't make this easy. Miss Wallace pushed further. I don't understand what's so difficult. He worked for you. He made his money. Where is it? Sean shook his head as if saddened by what he was saying as he continued, It's not like I can just give you his money. You're entitled to certain amounts, and they are trying to figure out what that amount is. I don't mean to sound cruel, but it wouldn't be fair to me to just give you tons of money. You got rich off my son, and now you're keeping all of his money. Sean, keeping his cool as he replied, I'm afraid business isn't that cut and dry, Miss Wallace. I paid for publishing, publicity. I mean, in all actuality, if I'm going to be straightforward, Miss Wallace, Chris probably owed me money. I won't know until it's all worked out. The anger in Miss Wallace's voice barely overshadowed the pain, or perhaps it magnified it as she uttered the only words she could muster. You bastard. Sean didn't flinch. He just said, Look at the contract. I am honestly trying to get him as much as possible out of it, but I have investors. I just can't take money that doesn't belong to him and start giving it away. Miss Wallace exploded in response. You know good and well Chris didn't owe you a damn thing. Shawn stared her straight in the eye unwaveringly and said, he would have started making a profit after a few years. His money until his album sales paid for studio time, music videos, publishing, and marketing would have come from doing shows. I'm sorry. He isn't here to make the money. I miss him. Her response was deadpan. Did you kill my son? Momentarily, Shawn was stunned into silence. She asked again, her voice quivering. Did you? He stated, Miss Wallace, she would not be redirected. Answer the question. I was not used to seeing Shawn on the defensive. No, of course not. She looked at him with spite, the anger in her voice enough to send shivers up my spine as she replied with the menace only a mother can. I don't believe you, Shawn. Shawn looked at her with a sadness that I knew in my soul to be fake. Although looking at him without context, anyone will believe him as he replied, I'm sorry to hear that. Today I know he was able to muster that false sincerity because he's a sociopath. Back then, I thought it was compassion. With no more words, Miss Wallace stood up and left. Shawn watched her exit with disbelief, not knowing what to do. I placed my order. Dinner that night was long and silent. I feared for Miss Wallace's life. Shawn is most dangerous when he feels threatened. No, she cannot physically threaten him, but this threat was very real. If she goes public with her accusations, Shawn's image would be damaged. I have felt for myself the extents he will go through in order to protect that image. Chapter 13. Have some faith. The matter of fact is, Shawn was a complete control freak. He was absolutely the worst. But all of the things he did for control, this might have been one of the most despicable ones. We were in the bad boy office one evening, sitting in the lounge area, enjoying a meal. Shawn was smoking one of those big cigars he liked, with Faith in it, and sat down with us. She seemed relaxed as she said, hey guys. I smiled. I've never had any bad vibes from the marvelous Faith Evans. We never talked about the wild time the three of us shared at one of Shawn's parties. I gave her a hug. Hey girl, what's up? Shawn smiled and asked, hey, what brings you up? She addressed Shawn saying, look, when you asked me to hook up with Chris, I understood. You needed to control him. I felt honored that you would choose me to monitor one of your most valuable assets. Chris is sweet. Shawn laughed and said, honestly, I knew you would be good. Make the big man feel loved. I don't feel good about all this, Shawn. Shawn got that look in his eye he gets before he blows his top. Faith saw it also. She treaded carefully. Shawn, you know I'm as loyal as they come. Shawn leaned forward, unintentionally threatening, and said in a low tone, yeah? But Shawn, Chris and I had a child together. Shawn leaned back. He let out a deep breath. I'm gonna take care of you. You're not like Chris. You're loyal. Faith had a tear in her eye as she responded. He didn't have to die. This is getting very touchy. Did she know? Did she suspect? Was this her trying to find out if Shawn intentionally killed Biggie? I wanted to ask, but of course there's no way of doing that. This is so crazy. Shawn sighed and replied, he didn't. Don't get me wrong, I'm missing. But he was leaving me anyway. No one cares about my pain. Classic narcissistic Shawn. It's all about him. I was sickened for a moment, but his next sentence made me feel for him anyway. I wanted to share all this with him. He was my man. Faith couldn't hide the anger that flared in her eyes, but she knew who she was talking to. She was careful as she spoke. Shawn, you have friends you share things with. Shawn sat forward again, this time with malicious intention as she queried, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Chris had no one, only you. Shawn lost it. That fat fuck and that other piece of shit I had you fuck. I interjected while in shock. You had her fuck Pop? Shawn glared at me as he answered. Yes, fucking Pop. Those motherfuckers were gonna start their own label to compete with me? 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 After all I did for that fat fuck, Nah, I wasn't using resources to protect that motherfucker. No fucking way. As Faith started to cry, Sean looked at her and softened slightly. He spoke a little calmer. Look, I didn't hate him. I was hurt. But I didn't hate him. I'll make sure you and CJ are taken care of. Without words, Faith got up. As she turned, Sean spoke softly. Faith. She ignored him. He called her again. Faith. She exited quickly. Sean just looked at me and said, damn, I really don't know what to say. Sean just told Faith that he wouldn't protect her husband because he was going to lead Bad Boy. From a business perspective, I didn't disagree with Sean there. If you're leaving and creating competition for him, why would he spend resources for you? So I hugged Sean, but I also knew he didn't have to send Chris to California. I wondered if he realized that he sentenced him to death. He hugged me back with tears in his eyes as he asked, how the fuck am I the bad guy? Huh? I fucking do nothing but bust my ass to make everybody live comfortably, and I'm supposed to just let niggas walk all over me? As I held him in a comforting embrace, I replied, no, baby. He took me right there on the couch. Like I said, Stockholm Syndrome. Chapter 14, Outshine. This particular evening, I was at Sean's house, and Quincy was staying with a friend. It was some alone time for Sean and I until the doorbell rang, and Sean got up to answer it. I heard a woman yelling and quickly realized that it was Jennifer Lopez, or better yet known to the world as J-Lo. Sean, what the fuck? She blasted. Sean responded calmly, relax, baby. Why the hell did you have to start shooting? Isn't that what we have bodyguards for? Normally, when these kinds of situations arise, I remain quiet and just listen. I play my position, you could say, but I wasn't paying attention to the news for the last day or so, and even though it would have been the only thing anyone would talk to me about for years, no one had spoken to me about it yet. So I entered the foyer asking, what's going on? Jennifer exploded at me. What's going on? What's going on? This nigga shot up the damn club. My jaw dropped looking back and forth between the two. Sean spoke soothingly. Jen, you gotta calm down. Jennifer was not having none of it. She continued, calm down? Calm down? You shot a bunch of innocent people, Sean. Sean placed his hand on her forearm. It's a bonding technique. He was shrewd in handling her. He does this to me too. Even if you know what's happening, it still works. It's an intimate contact without being personal. He was aiming to disarm her. This did not seem to immediately sway Jennifer as she continued, why in the hell do you think Biggie's replacement would take the fall for you? Biggie's replacement? Wait, could she be talking about, I had to know. Are you talking about Shine? Jennifer didn't even look at me as she responded, yes, fucking Shine. Sean continued with a calm and even voice, relax. The situation is under control. Jennifer was not calming down. She went on. They contacted my attorney for my statement, and there was a lot of witnesses, Sean. There is no way you're going to get away with this. Sean's arrogance can be immeasurable sometimes. He laughed and asked, you doubt me? I couldn't believe it. I had to know. Sean, what could you offer him that would make him do a bid for you? Like, what the fuck? Jennifer also remarked, and what if he falters halfway through his sentence and starts talking? Sean responded as calmly as ever. He won't do that. People in jail don't cross connected people on the outside. Jennifer looked deflated. So you'll kill him too? How does she know? Look, I'm not going to threaten anyone. Sean is smart and loyal. He knows how it works, and when he gets out, he'll be taken care of. Jennifer spoke defiantly. Sean, they want to question me. I'm not perjuring myself. I am not going to jail over this. Sean seemed so in control. I admired him for this at this point, but my spirit was broken. I felt bad for Jennifer. She catches one bad break after another, and this was a really bad break. Sean spoke with confidence. Relax. Come in and have a drink. Have your lawyers call mine. You'll never see the witness stand. I promise. Jennifer wasn't so sure. She asked him, how can you possibly know that? Sean smiled as he replied, between Sean's confession and the witness that gave their accounts, The cops won't need much else. The statement from your lawyer will be fine. Jennifer's next concern popped up. She explained, my attorney? Sean, he's good, but he won't do this. Beaming with confidence, the way only a man with his net worth can, Sean responded, sure he will. Jennifer shook her head defiantly as she responded, Sean, you don't know him. Sean's unbreakable confidence was ruling the day. Jennifer was giving in as he told her with a smile, I got this. Sean, are you sure? Sean gave a wink. My attorneys handle situations. Give him my number too. Jennifer seemed leery as she asked, you're not gonna threaten my attorney? Sean laughed as he replied, no, of course not. Money talks, baby. He turned to me and said, take her inside, pour her a drink. I had a question of my own. But you were going to make Sean the label's go-to man. What are you gonna do now? Sean looked disappointed as he responded. He had the voice, but his flow, he sighed. Well, artists with his talent are a dime a dozen. Looking at Jen, he continued, he's not a once-in-a-lifetime find like Jennifer Lopez. Now he's throwing on the charm. Despite the situation, she blushed slightly. Sean continued, let's grab that drink. Let me handle this attorney situation. Relax. Don't worry. We left the foyer and went to have a seat in the living room. He tried to make a threesome happen that night. It didn't work out. Not that day. Chapter 15. Queen Bitch. Kimora Simmons and I went out to have drinks. She was looking at me seductively, and I was turned on. We were going to go back to my place afterward, but suddenly after a sip of my drink, I felt like I had to vomit. I excused myself and barely made it to the ladies' room. When I came back, Kimora asked, you feeling okay? I'm fine. I have been under the weather the last couple of days, I think. I think I'll head home. She said, your breasts are looking kind of plump, dear girl. Embarrassed, I whispered, not in public. She replied simply, are you pregnant? I was taken completely aback. Why the hell would you say that? She let it sit there for a while. I bet in her head she was like, wait for it. Wait for it. Then it hit me. Shit. She gave me a minute before continuing. So what y'all gonna do? I didn't understand. Gonna do? If it's not Sean's, fuck. If it is, with the shock wearing off, the scope of the situation began to take hold. I responded, I better get a test. She looked at me with a pity. Damn, girl, good luck. After what he did to Chris, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. The desire that were in her eyes before I got sick was all but gone. As I began to stand, I realized what she said to me, and I paused. She looked at me flatly and said, ain't nobody stupid, girl. I didn't know what to say. The question still lingered in my mind despite everything I knew. Did Puffy intentionally kill Chris? She brought me back to the moment by saying, go. Not knowing what else to say, but knowing I had to deal with my situation right now, I replied, I'll hit you up. She sighed and simply repeated, good luck. Chapter 16. Christian. The next day I was sitting on my couch deep in thought when my doorbell rang. I went to let Sean in. This was going to be scary. We made our way back to the living room and we sat down. Quincy was asleep. Sean seemed legitimately concerned. What's so urgent? I didn't know what else to do. I just blurted it out. I'm pregnant. The air in the room was as thick as J-Lo. He was quiet. What is he thinking? He asked the obvious question. Are you sure? I spoke rapidly. I was on the pill. I'll get rid of it. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to know. That's wonderful. This is great. I was so confused. Huh? You're not mad? He laughed. Mad? No. Why would I be mad at this wonderful news? I'm going to be a dad with the woman I love bearing my child. What could possibly be better? He jumped right on the phone and called one of his besties. I could hear Will Smith congratulating him. Sean said, yeah, definitely. Hold on, Kim, baby. I was still in awe of the fact that he didn't get angry, and yes, I will admit, I was sure he was going to hit me. So it was a relief when I replied, yes. He told me excitedly, we're going to have a party. His excitement was contagious. I was getting really excited too. Yes, a gender reveal, and he cut me off. Yes, of course. We're doing all of that, but everyone is going to want to sleep with you right before you give birth. My heart sank in my chest. Everybody is going to what? Sean went on with the same excitement. Well, not everybody, Will, Jada, Blank. Sean, I'm having your baby. He verbally waved me off. It'll be fine. I couldn't help myself. I just started crying. Sean grew quiet on the phone, then spoke low. I'll call you back. He hung up and took me by the hand. Baby, I never asked anything from you. I tried to see him through the tears streaming through my face. I couldn't believe the words coming out of my mouth. I tried to speak. Sean, he cut me off. I provide everything anyone could ever want. Do you want for anything? Sobbing, I replied, no, but he continued. This is the kind of thing I have to do in order to continue giving you this comfortable lifestyle, where you live in a lap of luxury and get to be on TV shows and in movies. I know you don't want this, but do you want all of this to go away? A whimper is all I can manage. No. He continued softly. Then we gotta do this. I said, but Sean, I don't believe in all that spiritual crazy shit. We got here because you're brilliant, not because of the sex parties. He replied, do you trust me? I did. My soul was so broken. I did, I responded. Yes. He sighed as he said, then let's do what we need to do to keep what we have. As I nodded yes, he pulled me in to hug me. Thank you.